Okay, I'm back. I hit a button on my phone and it stopped the audio or the video. So this is going to actually be a 3-part video, or maybe 4. I'm trying to make it as short as possible. I don't have a GoPro or anything. I don't have a mounting stand, so I'm winging it. Now, my motherboard that I'm going to be putting in has built-in anti-surge protections for the components, and it does have audio shielding, and there's a game audio component next to the audio plug there. It's for audio wiring. It's to give the best audio. This is the bottom of the heatsink. I'm cleaning it. Oops. Cleaning all the thermal paste off, which most of it came right off. It's pretty Now, before I take the chip out, I'm gonna wipe the thermal paste and you can almost see the CPU die. Now, that writing that's on it is somebody's inventory writing from whoever I bought the chip from. And yes, the chip was not bought new, because you cannot buy these chips new. AMD phenoms are I think 14 years old, or at least 10 years old, 2009. And therefore, you can't buy them new unless you find a retailer that bought them and just never got rid of it. This is the retention lever, which lists the socket. Now, unlike Intel, these chips have the pins on it. So this one, going back in it, I'm going to put on top of the heatsink. This chip, pull out, and I'm going to put it in this socket that it came in. Let me get rid of the towel. There's a pin. See the little copper pin? Oop. There's a little copper arrow. I'm going to put that in the arrow. And it just slides. It'll just slide in. Almost like it drags it in. Now, if you bend any of these pins, then your CPU is done. And you got to buy a new one. And this is hard to do one-handed. I can do it. I just got to get the thing lined up without bending the pins. So, little pressure, not much, and then the retention lever closes. So, now I have to pull out the different screws. Now this board has a speaker on it. My other one does not. And I really don't mind. I'm pretty able to diagnose based on my experience. I will probably be taking the case out and cleaning it. And because I have very little actual components in it, and that motherboard screw was not tight for some reason, I can use an air compressor. I may just take a little broom to it. Now, these two standoffs, as I will show you after, I have to actually pull those two standoffs off. Now, all the rest of the screw holes actually mount up. And because my video card is a dual card, as you can see, dual bay, when I do this, I'm going to be moving the card up one. If I did not mess up and the Wi-Fi card does not work, does not fit, or fits. If I didn't mess up and the Wi-Fi card in the PCI slot does not fit. The board that I bought, the screenshots, the pictures online are deceptive as far as distance between the PCI 1 and the audio port. So I'm hoping that I don't have to buy a PCI to PCI Express adapter and mount the card that way. If that's the case, well, I will be using wired internet by wiring into the gigabit from the router that I told you about in the first video. And that router may not be on the way out. It was recycled and was given to me by the lovely and talented people from the Elbridge Free Community Library in Elbridge, New York. And the reason being is my aunt is the director, and I needed an antenna for this computer because the Wi-Fi does not have a good signal without the antenna, and even with the antenna, that card, which is not the original card, and the antenna has very poor signal. Now, there's one more motherboard screw, and then I should be able to pull this motherboard out, and I will be putting it into the anti-static bag that my original motherboard came with, if I don't need to pull this out. Now, I don't think I will have to, and there'll be spacing. This is mainly for support of the die on the heatsink, but it won't move, and therefore I should have no problem. I will check it. So, to verify, make sure all the screws are out, which they are. Gently lift up, and I have a problem, because I have a hard drive here that I have to pull out because it's in the way of the motherboard. So, and it is a Phillips head screw, so I will use the Phillips head screwdriver that came with my Wi-Fi card, if I can find it. I'm pretty sure I put it back in here, but I did. I will use this Phillips head screwdriver that came with the Wi-Fi card. Now, typically, motherboards you don't want to put on the anti-static bag because on the outside, because most of them are not grounded. a Wi-Fi card, it's a little different. So I'm not sure that this is the right size, but I can undo the screws. And I'm going to put them on the magnetic tray I have. Now, if certain things have been not visible, I apologize. It's hard to determine this. I will put this one back in before I put anything else in. This hard drive. Never put mechanical hard drives on something magnetic. It can completely wipe them. So I'm going to put this up here. I have a little shelf. So now I should be able to pull this motherboard out with no problem. And I should be able to do it with one hand. Pull it away from the I/O shield. And out it is. So this is the way this motherboard is. It's an SD Sony digital input. The VGA and DVI, HDMI's, Ethernet. I'm not sure if it was gigabit. I think 5.1 surround sound channel, and that's the motherboard out. Now, I'm going to put it down on a box. I'm not putting it in the bag yet because I may have to pull. Now see, this I/O shield, I've never done I/O shields before. So you just pop it. From everything I read, you just pop it and it just pops out like that. So the new I/O shield does not have the white piece stickers. It's a solid I/O shield. I have to figure out which way it goes in, because it's metal on both sides. That side goes out. So I'm going to cut the top of the baggie with a pair of scissors. Now, I'm disappointed in the fact that there's no literal labeling, white labels for the I/O shield, but I can't complain at the same time. So I'm going to use this one as a reference. This is the outside. So that means this I/O shield goes in like this. Now, one is thicker than the other, but it should work. I have seen this board, the M5A78L-M USB 3, put into this exact